All right, it is 5:34. We will call the meeting to order. We can start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go Comets. That's our. Took me a long time not to say go Knights.
All right, first up is approval of the meeting agenda.
So move.
Second.
Kyle and Ashley, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 4-0. All right, next on the agenda is approval of consent items. Mr. Klein, is there anything you'd like to specifically focus on?
Yeah, I'll highlight a couple of these. The flooring changes are going to replace, in many of the older elementary classrooms, we have the restroom inside the classroom. And so this is to replace the tile flooring that's currently in there, but then also do the LVT underneath where the student book bags would be hung, and often where the boots end up being set. And so for both Central and West, LVT in that area as well. So the flooring guys are the ones doing all the carpet for us over the summer. They were the ones that won that bid. So just some ads for the LVT. Also on there is the electrical that we need additional amperage for the scoreboards. And so the request for tonight is to approve MMC, now Cirrus Systems, for the outdoor electrical, and then the other one, which I don't have the name in front of me, EXL for the inside electrical, because we asked the vendors to bid it separately, and so awarding the lower bid on each one of those for the electrical work necessary for the scoreboards. And then there is later in the meeting here, there is a approval for a donation to support a finishing arch for our cross-country course that will be installed south of the tennis courts after July 1. So the donation covers the cost of it, but that's what the Dane Wright Construction quote on here is for.
Before I make a motion, I did, just before we move on this, want to make a couple of notes about the personnel report. Matt Eichhorn is not in here, but he has had some incredible hires so far this school year, and there's another one on here, so I'm really excited about seeing a girls wrestling coach on this personnel list. Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Ashley and Kyle, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4-0. All right. That pushes us to public comments, communications. Go ahead.
We did receive a public comment. The person is hopeful to be here tonight to relay it in person. Amy Witchman with the Heartland AEA. So she was at a different school board meeting to start the evening here at 5 o'clock, but is planning on coming to make some comments here. So we may have to add her in later, as she is not in the room currently.
All right, perfect. So yeah, we can talk through construction report and superintendent report, and then hopefully come back to the public comments.
Garrett, you have a minimum of 10 minutes. Make sure you fill the whole time.
All right. Well, yeah. Good evening, guys. We had a lot of fun participating in those opening or grand opening nights there at the baseball softball field. So that was a lot of fun. So thank you guys for including us in that. And then a shout out to the contractors who really pushed us across the finish line there. We came a long way in those last few weeks there, and I think we turned over a pretty good project that you guys can be proud of. So thanks again for letting us be part of that. We got a few punch list items to knock out there. We'll get that done, wrapped up, close out. Hopefully pretty swift on this one. But moving on from the fields, keeping our foot on the gas when we go to the CTE. So if you walk in there now, there's some terrazzo going down. It's not polished yet, but it's placed. There's ceiling grid up, some borders cut in. So it's starting to come together finishes wise. Painted, first coat everywhere. We'll do a finish coat once we get all the carpet and all the other finishes in there. But coming together pretty well. Still on track for our July 30th substantial completion. We just had another meeting today with Mr. Klein and some other teachers and faculty there, and coordinating with you guys to make a smooth move in there, because there's some Scott will have some infrastructure to do. There's a lot of equipment coming in from the shops and then classrooms too. So we'll keep you guys up to speed on how we're turning that space over here, but coming to an end here pretty quickly. So looking forward to getting that one wrapped up too. So that was all I had for tonight, guys. Sorry, it only took about 1 minute, but.
The concrete pad that's gonna go by the boys' goal and that whole plan.
Yes. So with timing right now, Dane Wright, who is doing our ticket booth, they're not going to start until after the season is over, and so we're just going to have them frame up and pour the concrete pad. So to not have as much mess during the season, we have the playground mats that are out there right now. So the plan is just kind of leave the playground mats there so that there is a way back and forth. We're fully aware we're going to kill all the grass underneath, but guess what? That's exactly where we're going to frame up and pour the concrete sidewalk to get to that pad for baseball viewing from left field.
What about the flags, the flag poles? Michael, do you have an update on those?
Flag poles, great question. It was 12-week order, and so end of July they're supposed to be on site, installed beginning of August. So unfortunately after the season, but they will be here and up and ready to go for the start of the spring and anything we use the fields for this fall. And then another bigger change order is soffitting around the dugouts. We didn't realize that there was as many birds in Allman that there are, but it's ended up being just shy of $6,000 change order to have materials and then time and labor to get all of the soffitting cut and installed around the dugouts. So keep those birds out of there.
Couple things on that, yeah. I'm just genuinely surprised that that's just not when you wrap it with metal, and we don't put soffit. That's
A standard.
yeah. That should be pretty standard. The other thing is, are we going with the coaches maybe about like obviously those aren't insulated, so we're not leaving the mini splits on. They're turning them on and off. They're scheduled. Do we know? I just want to make sure we're not like burning those things.
I will check to see if they're scheduled, but I knew we just talked about that today. That's the design intent, is for those to just be ran when you guys are occupying the space, because running them constantly, I mean, I've even witnessed it when they're in there practicing. Those doors are open. They're taking stuff in and out.
Right.
So we talked through some options of maybe trying to seal that up a little bit more before we put this soffit on. So I will check to see if they're on a schedule. I don't know if that's the case or if it's strictly on-off type thing.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. I just want to make sure that
Yep.
at night that they're getting turned off, so they're not run all night, and then we'll have to replace mini splits in
Yeah.
a year. So okay.
Is on that I did talk, because I had asked you originally about it,
Yes.
and I talked to RDG about it too, and yeah, so it was never, that was not the intention that those would, because that space is not sealed
Right.
necessarily. It's more just to try to create some comfort, but to your point, having either a timer or some form of automated shut-off I would think be advantageous, so yeah,
Yeah.
I could see it getting left on all night long
On
or something.
accident, right? I mean, yeah.
This might be a topic for another time, but when I did the announcing for the 4th grade track meet, seems like there were some issues over there on the press box over there with the same type of fascia and birds getting in. Are we?
We have the paneling to fill it now, so that last piece, it ended up being 4 small pieces, is on site. So we just need to get them to come and install it. So yes, we will get the birds out of there before we install that last piece.
I mean, if they're not willing to do it, just pay somebody to do it and be done with it. Hire somebody to get it done. That way we don't have to worry about it. Yeah, because there's birds flying all over in there. If we've got it on site, we at least got the material.
We got the material, and it is the right red color.
if it's gonna be as hard as it was to get the material, to get them to be out here, will be next year again, so,
We'll get it installed.
thank you.
Yep. Garrett's gonna do it for us. That's his punishment for not filling the full 10 minutes here. So. Yep.
Garrett, I just want to real quickly say thank you for all the hard work the last month, 6 weeks, to getting that project finished up in a timely manner, so we can have those special nights that we had last week and be on the field for the last 2 weeks. I know, late April and through May, you're getting 3 phone calls or more and emails every single day, wrapping everything up. So. From the board, I just wanted to say thank you to you individually and to DCI and everyone else that made that happen. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's group effort. Glad we made it.
Don't thank him too much. I mean, his kids do go to ADM, who it did end up beating us in extra innings on Monday night on the softball side. So
They enjoyed the fields too.
his son wore his ADM Tigers T-shirt, so which I mean, rightfully so. He needed to.
All right, through that construction report, on to superintendent report.
Well, I got a bunch of thank yous. First of all, May 31st, we did have Celebrate North Polk at the FFA Center there in Ankeny. Ended up raising north of $90,000 in the one evening. So thank you to everyone that took the time to attend and bid on the live auction, silent auction, participate in all the activities. The dessert we had was great. But then also thank you to Mr. Rixner, who a former staff member here, is working at Bondurant now, but still volunteered his time to come back and be a part of the evening for us. So it was good to see Mr. Rixner, and he does a great job emceeing. And then Joe Bear, former North Polk grad, North Polk grad, was the auctioneer for the night. So thank you all around. Holly Hunter and her team did a fantastic job with putting the evening together. And then it's already been referenced, but last Thursday night with celebrating the new fields, a lot of time and effort went into preparing for the night. And so thank you to Hunter Fleshner, our communications director, for putting the script together for the evening and making sure that everything was well timed out. And he's way better time estimator than I am. Anytime I put together an agenda, we're always 10 minutes off, but we were about to the minute there. Thank you to Matt Eichhorn for helping to coordinate with the coaches, the opposing teams for the evening, making sure that they were aware of what was taking place. Dawn Reynolds and June Carstensen, making sure that we had the equipment out there we needed for the restrooms and making sure that the concession stand was up and running. And then Joe Boyles, our outside maintenance guy, making sure all the picnic tables were there. Scott Grouden, making sure that all the sound was up and running. He came to me in advance and was like, hey, do we need to buy some more mics? I go, I don't know another time that we're ever going to have people talking from the field, but he made it happen for us for that night. And then all the high school administration for making it a priority to be there. Lindsay Dose, our dean of students at the high school, Rob Sinclair, our assistant principal, and then obviously Seth Polberg, our high school principal. So it was great to see everyone out there. Some of our district office staff was there. Chris Wood was present that night. Miranda Van Cleve. It was fun night to celebrate the new fields. Weather ended up working very well for us. Excited to watch many games on those fields for years to come. So thank you to everyone that did register your students in our latest push. Our text message seemed to strike a chord with people, so we had a lot of people registering as we figure out the double routing for the fall. And then thank you to the administration and board that were able to attend the work session retreat last week, and good conversation and future planning for the district. That's what I got.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Klein. Moves us on to new business. We will be going back to public comments if we need to, when we need to. But first item in new business, item number 1 is approve the sale of 2 school buses using Purple Wave auction.
So this is who we used last time, and so our policy is anything that has over $5,000 in value needs to be approved before it is sold. Last time we used Purple Wave, I believe we had one bus sell for $3,300, another bus sold for like $2,860, and so we're going to hopefully be flirting with the $5,000 mark. But these are two buses that we've had for close to 20 years. It's going to cost more in repairs to get them up and running than what it's going to be worth. And so requesting approval to sell these two buses.
Motion to approve the sale of bus number 10 and bus number 2 using Purple Wave auction.
Second.
Kyle and Keith, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. Item 2.
Approve Allers and Cooney engagement letter for as our bond counsel for selling $500,000 obligation, general obligation capital loan with Home State Bank, and this is series 2025. So as we've talked about with our new scoreboards, we have commitments from almost, I think, 15 to 20 businesses at this point, but 9 major donors that we have approved those donation agreements with, so that we will be paying this $500,000 back with donations given to the district for this effort over the next 5 years. And then once the boards are paid off, the intention is that the revenue of these donations would be for use in our activities department to support our programs and paying for coaches and all that goes with additional programs for activities.
Motion to approve Allers and Cooney for the bond counsel for the North Polk Community School District $500,000 general obligation school capital loan note series 2025.
Second.
Motion by Keith, second by Ashley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. Item 3, approve resolution directing the sale of $500,000 general obligation school capital loan notes series 2025.
Same thing as I said before.
Motion to approve the resolution directing the sale of $500,000 general obligation school capital loan notes, series 2025.
Second.
Motion by Kyle, second by Iker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's a roll call.
And just, Sarah, just for clarity on this, and so Michael, so this is the approval for the sale, and it goes, it's just Home State Bank is the intermediary on the transaction, or because it's,
The loan is with Home State Bank.
okay. So so I'm gonna, okay, anyway. You'll see. All right, thank you. Back to you, Sarah.
Yes.
Yes.
Abstain.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Klein, you want to talk about item 4?
Item 4 goes along with the other ones in that we have to approve UMB Bank for the repayment and transfer of dollars for repaying the loan over the next 5 years. And again, the loan is being repaid with donation dollars to the district.
Motion to approve the resolution appointing UMB Bank of West Des Moines to serve as the paying agent, note registrar, and transfer agent, and approving the paying agent, note registrar, and transfer of the agent agreement and authorization of the execute of the same for the repayment of the loan.
$500,000 loan from Home State Bank.
$500,000 loan to Home State Bank.
Second.
Motion by Ashley, second by Iker. Roll call again? Yes.
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 There's a lot of things that go with borrowing money.
Yep. As there should be. Next on the agenda is item 5, approve the form of tax exemption certificate.
So this comes from our bond attorney, which we approved earlier up, the Allers and Cooney. Beth Grove is the individual that we do work with. So this tax exempt opinion allows us to have a better interest rate on the loan versus being a taxable loan. And so this is the tax exemption certificate that we're approving.
Motion to approve the tax exemption certificate presented by Allers and Cooney for the $500,000 general obligation school capital loan series 2025.
Second.
Motion by Ashley, second by Keith.
Roll call, Hill,
Yes.
Iker.
Yes.
Mormon,
Yes.
Delaney,
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
All right. Item 6 is approve resolution authorizing the issuance of 500,000 general obligation school capital loan notes, series 2025, levying a tax for the payment thereof and authorizing the execution of a loan agreement.
So question on this one. So the difference between 4 and then this one, so 4 would, or, I'm sorry, 3. 3 would have been the directing of the, that's where we're actually requesting
To sell it.
to sell, and then this is now,
I was incorrect, yes.
okay, so then this is the one where it's actually executing the loan agreement with Home State Bank.
Correct.
Okay.
There's a lot of these.
Yeah, no, in reading them now, I understand the connection, but yes.
Motion to approve the resolution authorizing the issuance of $500,000 general obligation school capital loan notes, series 2025, levying the tax for the payment therefore, and the authorization of the execution of the loan agreement.
Second.
Motion by Ashley, second by Kyle. Roll call.
Roll call, Hill,
Yes.
Iker.
Yes.
Mormon,
Abstain.
Delaney,
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, item 7. Go ahead.
This is what I referenced earlier. Very generous donation from the Keys family for the purpose of putting the cross-country finishing arch south of the tennis court. So it does handcuffs a little bit that we're going to finish in the same area. I mean, willing that the drainage all holds, and we've had good luck that that's where we finished, I mean, for many years. So it'll be a nice indication of the finishing of our course. The plan is to put some eyelets on the bottom of the archway so that we can hang the timer so that it's up high. I've been to more cross-country meets in the last year than I have probably in the previous 5, but it's nice when you can see the clock held nice and high, and so it should be a very cool feature for our cross-country course. So this is approving the donation letter.
Motion to approve the donation letter for the cross-country arch by the Keys family.
Second.
Motion by Keith, second by Ashley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, 5-0. Item 8. Guess we'll talk through a little bit. Approve proposed North Polk meal prices for fiscal year 26.
No prizes, just prices. So for meal prices, the one that is set by the state that we have no wiggle room on is the adult meal price. And so we, over the past 4 years, have just gone, actually last 3, this will be the 4th year, of just going with what they tell us is the minimum price that we can charge. Last year it was $4.70. This year it's $4.97. So they actually raised it 27 cents, which percentage-wise is around 5 to 6%. So that was a significant hike. We looked at what our costs are for individual meals, depending on what is being served on any given day, knowing that our labor costs are going up around 3%. And our recommendation here is to raise the meal prices for breakfast and for lunch items 10 cents. If you look percentage-wise, this is around 3% increase in meal prices. We feel comfortable in doing this because we do have a little bit of a fund balance carryover that the state tells us, actually I think it's federal government tells us, we are only supposed to have 3 months worth of carryover. We're a little more than that, and so we do feel like we have a little wiggle room in only raising 10 cents this year, and it puts us very comparable with other schools in our area. We looked at Ballard, we looked at Bondurant, we looked at Norwalk, we looked at Carlisle, I think was one we found, and we are about right in the middle with these prices compared to these other schools. And some of the schools haven't approved their prices for next year yet. We were just going off of this year's prices when we were looking at it. But 10 cents is what we are requesting tonight. Milk prices stay the same. Extra entree price stays the same. Unfortunately, that adult meal price for lunch did hike a little bit. So we actually took the adult meal for breakfast, which when talking with Anita Trzynski, not many people eat breakfast. I think Evan Groper and I might be the two that eat breakfast the most here. But in kind of trying to balance that out and maybe encourage people to eat a little bit more adult breakfast here at the high school, brought that one down a little bit. But that was our rationale in meal prices.
Just looking back from 2022 to 23 to now, I mean, we raised it 70 cents. So obviously, I know Anita and you will have a keen eye on trying to keep it the same, tighten our belt. I'm okay with being in the middle, but I'd love to be the cheapest to make sure that we can, feed our kids and with the least amount of burden on our families. But I know that things cost money, but 10 cents is pretty minimal. But if you look overall, there hasn't been a considerable increase over 4 years. So.
Well, and not all meals are created equal. I mean, I know the Woodle Bowl is something we started serving over here at the middle school, and my son comes home and he really enjoys it. It is one of the more expensive ones that we do. And so as we look to hear feedback from the students, making sure that we're giving them meals that they want, that they are looking for. I mean, I know Anita looks at what are the days that she has more service, more extra entrees that are sold, and so trying to balance getting the students what they want with the cost. It is certainly a moving target to look at. I know the boneless chicken nuggets at the elementary. We were on, was it KCCI? WHO came out and did a story on students requested it. Anita listened to what the kids want. I know it's one of the more popular items, but again, not one of the cheapest items that we serve in the lunchroom as well. And so balancing the nutrition value with what the students want in terms of taste, and it is a balance.
Just out of curiosity, Chris, do you have a rough number? What is the dollars what's the total value that we see in a given calendar year fiscal on revenues from?
Like revenue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can pull that.
I'm just curious again when we think about 10 cents and what that means, but then even comparison to the total dollars that we spend. And I don't know, I just was curious on the total number. We can go on, but she can get it.
She can pull it. I mean, I know on any given day we serve close to 1,500 to 1,600 meals.
Yeah.
So for us, I mean, 10 cents, it's going to be $150 a day times 170 days.
Mm-hmm.
It will be an amount.
Any other questions anybody else has? Motion to approve the proposed North Polk meal prices for fiscal 26.
Second. Motion by Keith, second by Kyle. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, so
5-0.
fiscal 25 is not yet complete. We're still waiting for some payments from the state and federal government. Fiscal 24, we had 1,682,000-ish. Fiscal 23, we had 1,662,000. And the year prior to that was 1,729,000. So that would have been, I think, coming out of COVID where they really were funding well from the federal government.
So, and this can be in time for another time, but revenues versus output. Can you?
Yeah, so Michael and I and Anita look at revenues versus output, and that's where what the federal government says is you should only be carrying over a maximum of 3 months of expenditures, average expenditures. And we're very close. A lot of the schools are still well over that because through the COVID era, there was a lot of funding that took place that was grants and that type of thing. And schools had a hard time just spending it. So now
what-
they're trying to spend it down and buy the new equipment where there
So-
was quite the influx.
My question, I guess, is, so we're only raising it 10 cents. Chances are the cost went up a little bit more than that.
Right.
But because we're raising it 10 cents, we're gonna take some of our money that we have
Some
in
of that.
reserves
Right.
and hopefully lower that.
Yes.
Perfect. I
And
like,
then
that's,
she also buys like equipment out of that, so if we are to,
Tilt skillets?
change our production kitchen at the middle school and make that a production, then we would buy some of that equipment.
okay, thank you.
Do we have any idea how close we are to?
Yeah, she's here.
Okay.
Talk about timing. That was pretty good. I was pulling up the email too. Have you had the freeze-dried Skittles?
We're fine.
You don't like them? Hello. You're up, so come on down.
Sorry for the delay then. I was racing through small towns. Didn't
Hey,
get tickets.
I'm impressed that you got here as fast as you did.
Yeah.
Again, sorry for starting a few minutes early.
No, I didn't know you were starting early, so I apologize for being late. But thank you for having me. My name's Amy Witchman. I'm the Director of Media Technology and Digital Learning at Heartland AEA. And I'm here today because the Superintendent, North Polk School District, and Scott in particular have been a partner with us the last 2 years in efforts to keep your digital learning environment safe related to cybersecurity. As I said, the last 2 years, North Polk has been our cybersecurity partner, and truly they've worked closely with us, focusing with professionalism and care to ensure that you have a successful, safe security posture in your district. In the year 2025, this job is often at companies, individuals who that's their full-time job. And certainly we want to keep our equipment safe, our students safe, and our staff safe. And it's top of mind and present every minute when you are in this world of technology. Their work isn't always visible, Scott's, but it is absolutely essential and cannot be overlooked. From identifying vulnerabilities that occur at all times of the day, to updating the necessary systems and developing policies that impact the security and safety of the district. The district, alongside the AEA, has been unwavering in its commitment to keeping the systems, equipment, students, and staff safe. As I said, cybersecurity is a concern of all of ours. We think about it and it's top of mind when we're thinking about how we protect our digital environments. And so it's not just part of the educational operation of all the other things that Scott does in his role as a director of technology. And it is boards and superintendents who also have to be concerned about it, because if something goes wrong, it's the students, the parents, and the community that are outraged, right, that something has gone wrong. So the pressure is certainly real. Heartland AEA is actually grateful for this partnership and grateful for this pursuit of safety in partnership with us. I know that we've learned from Scott. I think Scott has learned from us. And it's just truly been an engagement, again, with the intent of keeping students and staff and equipment safe. So today I came to recognize the board, the superintendent, and Scott, really for this commitment to excellence in cybersecurity and for being true allies in education. I'm pleased to present this certificate tonight to Scott as a reminder of our 2 years of steadfast partnership and your unwavering commitment to safeguarding your schools. So thank you for having me.
All right, we need a photo so we can post it.
Okay. This is not a big check, like, I can't bring you money, but I can bring you a certificate. Like, if I could bring a big check, I would do that too, but, yeah. It's in a plastic frame too, so.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Scott.
Well, before you go, I just want to say that we appreciate. Well, thanks for coming, first of all. But
Yes.
when Scott brought this to us, so this was it. Has it been 2 years? Is that
We're completing our second year.
okay? So I remember when he brought this to us, and as an opportunity, it did seem like a unique way for us to partner and to, one, learn something, and then two, like you made points there, safeguarding our data, our systems, our students, our community. And so we've really appreciated I think the leadership, the back and forth, the collaboration that you guys have worked with Scott. And so Scott, I do want to say thank you too for, I know, the effort that's gone into making this happen, because this is a very complicated issue that changes by the minute. It's what it feels like. So again, thanks for partnering with us and for, again, really keeping all of our systems and everything safe, because this is on the greatest fears list.
Yeah.
This is one of those items.
And I think truly too, what's nice about working with school districts and Heartland, which is an education service agency, is we see some unique needs. It truly is unlike a business in that a business handles things differently. I know we've come across many things that are unique to the education environment when it comes to cybersecurity. And although they're unique, they're not that unique. But also we know school districts can't afford $200,000 to spend on this either. And so it's often an add-on for school districts, and truly, such an important thing. So thank you for acknowledging that. And again, thank you for your support.
Yeah, no, thank you very much again for helping us mature as an organization and for the continued partnership.
Well, we've learned a lot, even since I've been in the job. I've only been in the job now for my second year, but everybody's learning a lot all the time, because every day there's a new threat, for schools.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, our mission statement is learning for all by learning from all.
Yes,
So
there you go.
living out the mission.
So thank you for having me tonight. Thank you. Sorry I was a little late.
All right, everyone. Next up on the agenda is public comments from individual board members. We can start down on the other end.
Thank you. Just real quick, I know we've touched on, Michael said thank you to DCI and RDG for everything, Matt for what he did out there for that day, but I also, I want to thank the constituents, because without them voting yes, that whole vision, the dream, the complex over there doesn't come to fruition. So I want to thank them for voting yes, and it also makes me extremely excited for the next ribbon cutting that'll happen here, hopefully in a couple months over at the CTE building. So I'm very excited to see that, as that will kind of help us on the education side of things. So I'm very, very excited for that. But other than that, I hope our teachers and staff and admins are all having a good break right now, much deserved. So thank you, James.
I have two quick things. First is we have Elkhart's City Festival coming up this weekend. We have lots of students participating and showcasing many of their talents and hard work. So if you have time to go out to Elkhart this weekend, I would highly recommend checking out their agenda that they have available. And then the following weekend is Polk City's Talent Festival. So again, parades are both on Saturday. So if you have a chance to hop out to those two festivals, I'd highly recommend it. And then a quick shout out to the Elkhart City Council. They have been working really hard to develop commercial and industrial growth in the town, and they just took another big step forward in that project. And all of those developments help our school district tremendously. So big shout out to them for all of their efforts, and starting to see some of their long-term plans come to fruition is very exciting.
I want to today I want to talk about an individual that's really helped keep things moving, that has been an amazing support for this board, for some previous members of this board. This individual works in the background diligently, will have things prepared, makes us think of things that we forgot about and should be working towards. This individual is extremely caring, loves the district, and is been just a huge support for all of us as we have worked as school board members. You know, I know Mr. Klein as well. There's going to be a bit of a transition here at some point, and Sarah will not be our board secretary, but we know she's thankfully just taking a different seat in the office and not leaving North Polk. But not having Sarah as our board secretary it'll take some time to get used to, but I just wanted to make sure that we gave you a public public appreciation for all the work that you've done for us and all the support that you've provided over the last number of years. So how many years have you been the board secretary? 6 years. So thanks for putting up with James and I for 6 years. Matt for almost 4 and these two for almost 2. So
It's been my pleasure, so.
thank you. But otherwise, it's been quite the last couple of weeks opening up the facilities. Like Kyle said, I'm very excited for the CTE building and what that's going to turn into and the opportunities that that's going to provide for our students. And then to Ashley's point, she mentioned about Elkhart and the upcoming town festivals. I think we're going to try to have set up a tent over in Elkhart so that if anybody wants to come ask us questions or anything else about the school district, we're going to try to make that happen for this coming Saturday. So anyway, if you see a couple of us there, stop by, say hello, ask some questions. Easy questions. And that's it for today. Thank you.
Yeah, so I have a prepared statement on behalf of the board, and I'm going to try not to get emotional, but on behalf of the North Polk School Board of Directors, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the recent losses and tragedies that have deeply impacted the North Polk community. The board's thoughts and heartfelt condolences go out to the staff, students, and families that are going through very difficult times. We stand with you and are grateful for the strength and support that makes this community and district so special. Thank you.
And I think we should end board comments with that. So next on our agenda is closed session for Iowa Code 21.5 real estate.
Motion.
Yep, go ahead.
Motion to enter closed session per Iowa Code 21.5J, real estate.
Second.
Keith and Ashley, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.